What's up, YouTube? You are back on the other side with Mike G, where we bring you real badass stories of inspiration with real badasses. Today, I want to bring you the story of Lance Moore. Um, there's no intro that I can tell you better than what he's going to tell you in the next little while, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to him. Big Lance, how are you, sir?
Couldn't be better. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I started watching you on YouTube maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I think it was 2022. I don't know how I happened across your video or why I stopped on it or which one it was at this point, but I did. And something drew me to you. Your genre and your content isn't necessarily something I can relate with 100%, but something about you drew me in. So thank you for doing this interview and being a friend like you have been. If you don't mind, tell us about where you were born and a little bit about your childhood. What was it like growing up?
All right, get the popcorn out. Originally, I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. My mother and I, my father left at a very young age, so my mother and I we moved up north for a little bit to Lynn, Mass, which is outside of Boston. Lived there for a while. We were not financially secure. My mom did things to survive. Um, she also had a lot of demons, which unfortunately, as a parent, our demons tend to, kind of, our kids sponge them up, man, and that was in the case of myself. I picked up a lot of bad traits. I picked up a lot of bad advice, and I learned absolutely nothing about being a positive person in the real world. What I learned was how to survive.
Yeah.
Um, and that would perpetuate itself throughout my life. We we lived in we lived in squalor at times. We lived day to day. There were times that we would split up a microwave dinner, and that was our day. You know,
Wow.
my mother would come home. She would have been doing whatever it is, and she'd be beat up or she'd be hurt or tears or whatever. And I remember sitting in the bathroom as a very young child, and she had this old yellow fucking sponge, and I would sit there while she cried and just remember watching her back and trying to be a man, trying to be a man, and as 5, 6, 7-year-old child, this is not the type of childhood that you want. Growing up like that, it calluses you to a lot of things. But you also get bullied a lot.
Hmm.
Kids can be cruel, man, and you're gonna end up getting into a lot of fist fights because one, people are gonna pick on you, and two, you're just gonna you're gonna be angry. You're angry.
Hmm.
Why is my life so messed up, bro? Why is it
Right.
so messed up? So I remember my mother meeting somebody that she is still with to this day, um, who had a little more structure, man. Had a life they were building for themselves, and he took me and my mother in. The problem, airline, was we moved back to Virginia, but I was a constant reminder of what my mother used to be. And then they had a son together, and I think that once they had their little 2.5, I was slowly pushed out of the picture. Um,
Right.
my stepfather and we never really got along. We never really meshed. We're very different people. We see the world through different eyes. And as I try to explain to people now, man, like it's very hard. Like people say opposites attract. Yeah, they might attract for a second. But when you try to like coexist together or co-parent or anything like that, the way that you see the world and the way the world's been presented to you throughout your
Hmm.
life is exactly how you're going to see it. And
Yeah.
if your partner can't see it the same way, you're going to clash. Um,
Yep.
and that's what happened. So me and him just didn't see the. And as I got older and bigger, my stepfather was from West Virginia, man. Very black and white individual, man. If you got in trouble, you got your ass whooped. So my
Hmm.
whole life up to this point has been violence, 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 right? So I'm 11, 12 years old, violence. Every time I got in trouble, I was getting it upside the head. This is back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when
Hmm.
kids were still getting their asses beat. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Um, so I got in trouble uh, for the first time at like 11, 12 years old. and I went to the juvenile system, and this would be the beginning of kind of the way my life would be directed.
Right.
And that violence was a big part of it, man. Him doing that to me throughout my life, every time I got made me do that when I got upset, whether it was a
Hmm.
student, a teacher, kid up the street, whatever. That's how I knew how to handle things. Plus, I'm pissed off. Plus, all the things. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
just the same story. So we moved back to Virginia about 1991ish, 1991ish, um, and that's where I live at now. I still live in Virginia.
Okay. At what point? You said you were 11 when you started going to the juvenile detention center. At what point did you start getting into serious trouble?
First time I go to juvie, I'm 11, 12 years old. I cried. I got sentenced to 30 days for getting to a fist fight at school, right? I kept getting in trouble, boom, boom. One thing about getting locked up is this. It's just like anything else, man. You learn how to deal with it. And
Sure.
you realize that it's not that bad if you can make the best of it.
Hmm.
My situation, juvenile detention gave me 3 hots. That gave me 3 meals a day. I knew I was going to eat.
Yeah.
It gave me a bed at night. It gave me a chance to, like, I didn't have to get my head kicked in.
Yeah.
I knew I'd get in fist fights. That was nothing. I'm fighting kids, not grown men.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not a grown ass man who's 6'4", 300 pounds. Now, as a child, that's a giant. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So fist fighting kids my own size was nothing.
Yeah.
They couldn't hurt me. You know what I mean?
You were used to way worse.
Yeah. This dude that put my head through the drywall many times, man, or whatever he was going to grab was going to be what he was dealing with us with.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, me, because he didn't deal with his own son that way. That's another part of the story. That's never did he put his hands on his kid, but he would beat my eyebrows off my face if I let him. You know what I mean? So I get in serious trouble as a juvenile. I caught an assault charge. Everything's been assaultive. Got this kid in the locker room at school at the gym. He was talking smack. Boom, boom, boom. Well, I lost it, man. Like I'd been holding it kind of together, and I
Hmm.
lost it. And I gave him something that didn't belong to him. Put him in the hospital. So they sent me to juvenile prison. My mom came to court, was like, "We can't handle it." This was an easy way for her to get me out of the picture too.
Yeah.
They got DYSFS or whatever it is, Department of Youth and Family Services in Virginia, and they sent me to a place called Beaumont. Beaumont was the prison. Beaumont was the worst prison I've ever been to this day. And it was a juvenile spot where the worst of the worst went. If you were doing
Hmm.
juvenile life, you'd be there till you're 21, then they ship you off to regular prison. I was 14 when I went. I was supposed to be there for 2 to 5 months. Here's the shitty part about Beaumont or Department of Youth and Family Services. If you get into a fist fight, regardless of whether it's your fault or not, you get time added. I turned 2 to 5 months into 2.5 years.
Are you just supposed to lay down and get beat until somebody stops them?
I got jumped by 3 guys. See, here's the thing. There were 5 white guys at this place. And if you didn't know how to fight when you got there, I promise you knew how to fight when you left.
Right.
Just out of survival.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against, you got to remember this. These kids, and this is where a lot of like institutionalized racism comes from. I'm not a racist person by nature. I'm not at
Right.
all. You go to prison, and these little young African American kids or Spanish kids are growing up, first of all, in war zones.
Yeah.
And I know that because what they didn't realize is I'd grown up there too. But they didn't know me. They just saw a white person that
Yeah.
looks like the judge, that looks like every person that ever did them shit in their life. So they automatically hate you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you're gonna do to stop that until it stops.
Hmm.
So we didn't get along too well at first, but throughout the course of 2.5 years, I learned that if I stick up for myself, regardless of whether I get tuned up or not,
Right.
eventually they're gonna stop because I'm gonna fight back. And I started to fight back. Did I win everyone? I wish I could sit here and say I did, but of course I didn't. I literally have
Nobody.
scars and speed bumps all over my head and body from years of being in penitentiary settings. I've been stabbed over 6 times. I've been hit in the head with so many different things. But it was the respect that I needed because I wasn't getting that at home.
Right.
That's where I think a lot of my institutionalized mentality came from, bro. At a very
Mm-hmm.
young age, I had the respect from these convicted kids
Mm-hmm.
that I could not get from my own stepfather or my real father who walked away when I was very young. So I yearned for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my new family, bro. That
Sure.
was who I was going to be. And um, I got out of there. I did my time. I got out at 17 years old. I was literally charged 7 months later as an adult on attempted homicide. So that's when, like, throughout the childhood, there wasn't a lot of, like, I didn't use a lot of drugs and stuff. I like to drink
Mm-hmm.
back then. So when I got out of Beaumont, uh, my parents let me stay there for like maybe like a week or two. And they were like, you got to go, right?
Sure.
You can't stay here. I'm 17 years old. I packed a duffel bag and I walked out of the house, man. And about 3 miles down the road was an abandoned farmhouse. It was right next to this little like Section 8 housing area that I had actually lived at. So I moved in there to this abandoned house, 17 years old, man, 1997, I believe. And I'm living there. I would go up to the mall, Spotsylvania Mall. I'd go up there and I would either panhandle, I'd steal shit, or I would uh, set somebody up and rob them, whatever I was doing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I became more of a jack boy than anything. You know, I was
Yeah.
not because I was preying on anybody necessarily, but because I didn't have any choice. I was gonna starve to death.
Yeah.
Well, I was back there one night and I met this kid. And this is how I got charged as an adult. I went to high school with this kid. I knew him. It was around tax time or something like that. I remember he was getting a large sum of money. Well, $400.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was a large sum of
Yeah.
money at the time.
Back then, that was a huge amount of money.
Especially when you're living in a farmhouse that's abandoned. Right?
Yeah, that's changed your life money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It changed my life, all right. Well, I get this kid to go cash his check, get in his
Yeah.
car, and we're partying. I convinced him to go buy some liquor. We're getting some liquor now and an 8 ball of Coke. So we sniff up all the powder and we are drinking the liquor. Now the powder's wearing off. Now there's nothing left but the liquor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stumbling around drunk. And I mean, he's really loose, right? He's out of control.
Yeah.
Well, I had a guitar, right? And anybody that knows me knows that is my life, man. Music is my life. It's something that's kept me grounded for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I had left of my previous life before all this was this shitty acoustic guitar that I had carried around for months.
Right.
We get drunk and steps on it and breaks it. And I lost it. And me and a couple other people commenced to beating this boy. And I looked at the people I was with and told them, don't stop until he stops breathing. I'm going to make you stop breathing. And there was a point where like people, they were terrified of me. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought, and of course I played along with it. I'm crazy. You know what I mean? I wasn't crazy, man. I was just a hurt kid that never got to heal, bro. You know?
Yeah.
And so we're bashing him. We're bashing him. All I saw, I remember, was my stepfather. And all the time I saw him and I just, whack. You know what I mean? I'm just giving it to him. Well, he stopped moving. And the alcohol was still fueling me. So I drug him out back behind this abandoned farmhouse. I tied him to a tree. In my mind, I'm thinking the animals will eat him. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna find this guy. No one's looking for him, right?
Right.
I took his wallet. I took his car. An '89 Ford Escort station wagon, right? I can't make this shit up, man. Well, I take the car, which obviously breaks down immediately. Like I blew the CB joint. So to get in this farmhouse, it's like down this like rocky dirt like yard or whatever, like, but it's like a quarter mile. Well, I'm flying out of there, right? I'm hitting holes and it's just a piece of shit car that got tore up on the way out. It broke down in Catlett, Virginia, which is by Manassas. I picked up a chick I was dating. So we're riding around. I'll never forget this. I just got a Sublime 40 ounces of freedom. I'm blasting it. You know, right? So I'm thinking I'm him right now. Like I'm really him. I took the car. I got the rest of this dude's money, and the car breaks down. So we parked the car behind this like Chinese gas station that was across these train tracks, or whatever. And we go to sleep. I pass out finally. I'm drunk. I finally pass out. And the next morning, I woke up with the realization of what I had done, bro. Now, this is where I guess like I feel all the feelings started like, coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I started to like have a conscience. Like I knew that I had done something really messed up. I don't remember exactly what I'd done at the time, but I know I'm in trouble.
Right.
One of the people I was with gets a ride out of there, who would later get up on the stand and testify against me. And then I end up walking. It's like 10 miles, dude, to the Manassas Mall. So I walk down these train tracks, and I go, and I'm scoping out this mall. I'm like, I need another vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to an ATM. I'm watching the ATM. Basically, what I do is I robbed someone at an ATM, and I took their car, right? Because it was literally like you could come right out of the mall, and there's a highway right there. So I was gone, scot-free.
Right.
And that's what I did. And I ended up coming back to Fredericksburg, where the crime had happened. My girl gets locked up about a week later. We're sleeping in an abandoned shed. And I knew these other two chicks. I ended up spending the night at their house one night. Their mom catches us, because I'm only 17 years old. These are kids I'm hanging out with.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, imagine your kids running around with someone like this. 17,
Nope.
bro, this is not good. This is like I thought the kid was dead. We thought he was dead. So I'm living life like he's dead. You understand what I'm saying? Like I have nothing left to lose. They catch me going down, blah, blah, blah. The chick's mom catches us down in the basement sleeping or whatever, flips out, calls the cops, because my face is all over the Fox News.
Yeah.
Like they're looking for me, man. This lady knew exactly who we were. She freaks out. She's like, he's here. They're here. So we take off. And we're running. This is a gated community, like miles from everything. Like there's nothing close to us. Stupidest hideaway ever. But I've been on the run for a while now, like a month or two, right? So it had been, to be 17 years old on the run like that, starving, just tired. It was middle of summer. It was hot,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's looking out for us. You know what I'm saying? So when the cops ran down on us, I've been giving them a fake name. My co-defendant was like, I'm such and such. That's Lance Moore. We're wanted for murder. I was like,
That was helpful.
come on out, though. The guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? So I was like, the cop immediately, he knew what time it was. He came across the radio. He pulls it out. I'm hit. I didn't fight. I didn't run. I just hung my head, bro. Like, I was so grateful.
Yeah.
It was over.
Game over.
I was, and like, a lot of people don't realize that, like, when you really are busted like that, but you've been really ripping and running and burning it to the filter, man, like, you're almost grateful that you're caught, because you're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a hot shower. You're not looking, you're done. It's
Yeah.
Well, the guy wasn't dead, so that was a good thing, right? So, like, that was a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And they charged us originally with attempted capital murder, carjacking, and armed robbery. This is a life sentence, dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit if you're 16 years old.
Right.
A lot of this gets dropped down to court. So they could not prove premeditation. I proved that it was not premeditated. So the worst they could do is maybe second-degree attempted man. But all that shit, attempted, that got dropped to felonious assault, right? Because the kid comes out. He's good. He's alive. Thank God, right?
Now, in Arkansas, we don't have felonious assault. Is that the same thing as like aggravated assault?
Yeah.
Like great bodily harm?
Yeah. Disfigure, disable, or kill. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this dude comes out of his he was in like kind of a halfway coma, I guess. He's like, he messed up, man. I would later on actually contact this guy. I went to this guy's house in front of his family. I apologized to him. Said, listen, I was in a bad place. I'm not asking you to forgive me, but I want you to know that I will never forgive myself for what I did to you. And I'm sorry, bro. Like, I really truly mean that. And we hugged and shit. Like he
Mm-hmm.
accepted it, and like it was a good thing, bro. It was a good day. So they ended up dropping it down. I got charged with the malicious wounding and carjacking. I didn't take him out of the car. You can't just give me carjacking because I stole the
Right.
car. It's grand larceny. My lawyer kind of pieced it together in court. Ended up getting 6 years. Right. Well, during the 6 years, I've become like I got in trouble in the jail, waiting to go to prison. There was a guy named David Jinks, and David Jinks and his little homeboy took a hell was that? Took a little girl across state lines into Virginia from West Virginia, and the things they did to her, like it messed her up internally. She was 10 years old, and when they put him in my unit, this guy was 6'3", 240 pounds. He's the biggest chomo I've ever met in my life. Me and my buddies decided 5 years wasn't enough for him. That's what they gave him for this. 5 years, bro, for what they did to that little girl. So I had always heard about soap in a sock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I put 4 bars of this state lease of soap into a sock. And what I messed up was I tied it tight, and I should have kept it loose. But when I cracked that son bitch in the back of his whole head, like, it was bad, dude. We just, long story short, we bashed him. I mean, really,
Mm-hmm.
really hurt him, put him in a coma. They locked us all up. But they gave me an extra year for that. This would be a continuous thing, though, man. Like, and there's a reason why I'm like that. One, because it happened to me when I was a kid. When I was 8 years old, man, it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
This neighbor guy had gotten my trust. I went and cut his grass. Dog, he was a nice guy. He knew my situation was messed up. Dog, and took advantage of it. And, yeah. So I see him every time I see one of those guys, right? Beginning of the year, any long story short, I go to maximum security prison. So I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm in a supermax. Sussex 1, right? This is the supermax. You're 23-1 here, bro. Like, this shit that Wes Watson talks about, I really did, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I was there as a child.
Right.
And
now this is the sentence, the long sentence that led to your big stretch, right? That you're talking about right now.
Well, yeah. So
Okay.
this was the first one. I left home. I got out on this one. So I get out of prison.
Okay.
Right. But as you're coming out of prison, and the reason I want to touch base on, I left from a level 5 penitentiary to the street.
Mm-hmm.
No halfway house, no mentorship, $50. Have a nice day.
Rehabilitated.
Fully rehabilitated. Warehouse.
Yeah.
Right?
Good to go.
Yeah. It wasn't a year I was back in prison. Got drunk, beat up a cop. Felonious assault on a police officer, right?
Another one.
Did 3 years on that, right? Get out. I think, well, this time I had a kid. This is 2006, 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I had Bryce, my son, and he was 3. So I stayed out, man. I was doing good.
Mm-hmm.
My son was my life, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was still a drug addict. I didn't know how to, I started doing dope, shooting heroin. Like, it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for my son, but I wasn't a good father.
Right.
I love my son. He loves me. I was not a good father. There's a difference. I always tell people that. They're like, oh, no, you're a great dad. No, I'm just present. There's a difference.
There's a lot of dads that think all you got to do is go to work and pay the bills, and that's all you got to do. It's a lot more than that.
Oh, yes. I was just keeping us alive.
Yeah.
And I got locked up. He was 3, and I got sentenced to 8 years for a bar fight. A bar fight, man. I get into a fight with a bouncer, and they smoked my boots. Because all I'd had is chance after chance.
Mm-hmm.
Violence, violence, violence.
Yep.
Got drunk. Every time I've been to prison was because I got drunk.
Yep.
And demons come out. So that's why I don't drink anymore. I don't drink.
Yep.
at all, period. I don't even have a beer.
I'm right
But
there
I
with you,
know
man.
there's a guy that lives in here that is a monster. And
Mm-hmm.
that alcohol is what brings him out.
Yep.
And I just don't want to be that person, bro.
Yep.
I love being a nice person nowadays. 45
If
years
there's a
old.
1 in a million chance it'll happen again, it's not worth the risk. I've been drunk
Nah,
a million times, and the next one isn't suddenly going to be way better or more glorious than the last one. It's gone. I'm right there with you on that.
because I see like one of the things that you and I have in common. Like people are ready to go where we're gonna go with it. Like I mean, in my mind, like I'll be in a bar and some lame is looking at me like I want to try it. No, you don't, bro.
Yep.
And you got to think for people. Sometimes you don't want to think for them. You want to give them what they want. And then what? Then what? Now you're the one in court. You're the one doing 20 fucking years, man. Like I just
Yeah.
can't do it. And that's why I started doing jujitsu and kickboxing and things like that. Like I started to train a little bit. Now, am I an MMA fighter by any means? Absolutely not. Hey, please don't think that I'm trying to say that I kick my ass. But I do train a tad bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a blue
Sure.
belt jiu-jitsu, which is good. I mean, it took me a couple years to get it. I trained, and I do that for my own peace of mind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And to learn, I had to learn how to channel some of that stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And I wanted to, if I was gonna call myself a true badass, right? If I'm gonna say I'm a true badass, dude, then you got to go do badass shit, you know. And it was too late to join the military, so
Yep.
I was really humbled by a 145-pound man who's 60 years old that could tie me in a knot in 35 seconds.
Yeah. It's
I'm
crazy.
250, dog, and you just tap me out. And I'm not one of them guys that gets angry about that. I was one of them guys that was
Mm-hmm.
like, teach me that.
Yeah.
I've always
Show me
been
that again.
I've always been kind of humble, man. Like I've never really thought about any. Like I'm never too. You know, I love being humble
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like a true warrior has got to be humble. Because if you're a warrior in your own, like if you consider yourself a warrior, then you should be protecting people. A
Mm-hmm.
warrior is just somebody that goes out and slays people and punches and beats people. That's a bully.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a bully, man. Like I like to be the person that people can say, hey, can you help me? You know, even if it's just, you know, carrying the groceries in for you. You know,
Sure.
I'd rather be remembered as a nice individual that would kick your ass than, you know, a bully. I've had
Yeah.
my ass kicked 100 times. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? To kick
Yeah.
someone's ass.
I want to be judged by the people that I leave behind. That's who I care about, wondering whether or not I was a badass.
Right, bro. And being a
Um.
badass is so many different aspects of it. Like I'm
Sure.
learning now. Like fighting, yeah, is great. The things I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through now with like all the stuff, I feel like that was completing the process. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like to come back literally from the dead, pretty much, like I'm doing right now, and which we'll get into in a little bit, is like insane to me. The process. Forget anything other than the process. The process
Mm-hmm.
is magical, bro. It's beautiful. The pain is beautiful. The struggle is beautiful, and all the things that I had to go through to get to this point. I feel
Yeah.
like if I hadn't gone through that shit, I would have tapped out, man. I'd have
Yeah.
tapped out a long time ago. You know?
Yeah. So you're in prison, and at some point, you were introduced to a particular organization. Um.
Yeah.
What
So,
drew you to that?
well, this was on the last prison sentence. So I got locked up again in 2011. This
Mm-hmm.
was my last prison bid, right? I got out in 18. I never really was much into gang banging. Like it wasn't like I always thought them guys were punks. Like I was like, I walk
Right.
alone, dude, smack shit out of y'all. You know what I mean? Boom. Well, I guess it was just timing, right place, right time, and I was really hurting, man. Like I was 30 some years old. I didn't really have a family. I had my son, but he was a baby. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking for that camaraderie, dude. I'd always wanted to join the military.
Yeah.
That's what I'd wanted my whole life, and I never got a chance to because they wouldn't accept me because of my past.
Yep.
Um, And if I could go back, gosh, man, I would love to be. I think I'd have kicked ass in the military. But I found this organization, DMI, and it wasn't really a gang to me. To me, it was a way of life that I could relate to, man. And I believed in this thing, bro. I believed in it. I still believe in it, honestly. And I don't just say I belong to something. Like even though I've walked away from the organization itself,
Mm-hmm.
I literally have this shit tattooed all over my fucking body. So there's not going to be a day that I don't think about it.
It's the principles you're talking about.
Um,
The principles of the
right.
organization is what you're talking about. You're
If you
still drawn
live
to.
by these principles, your life will
Hmm.
be better.
Right.
Now, most of it is bullshit because most people
Sure.
just live their own shit and they kind of do this on the side. Well, me, it was opposite. I was like a living, breathing example of what these moral values and these words of wisdom were about. And very fast, when I read our Creole or our spit is what we called it. I didn't give a shit about the lid. All I cared about was being the biggest, baddest, most feared organization in our prison system. And there was nothing like that for white inmates at the time. We're not racist. We didn't see this was the difference. It was like these AB dudes, biker dudes or wannabe biker dudes or
Hmm.
whatever. None of that shit impressed me. You know what I mean? But
Right.
D9 did. And I quickly rose to the top of this thing because there was nobody knew what it was. So
Right.
I'm sliding these letters to these guys that started: James Sweeney, Perry Rourke. I'm trying to
Hmm.
find Brian Jordan. These are the three guys that started. Could never get a hold of Brian Jordan. Perry Rourke never responded. James Sweeney did. I strike up a friendship with this man. To this day, we're friends.
Hmm.
And anybody that knows anything about this guy, I mean, he's a savage. And he had a way of articulating himself that impressed me. I actually
Hmm.
consider myself a halfway smart individual. I read a lot, I write, I do a lot of things that I feel like, perpetuate a very intellectual way of life, man. Like I try to do things that make me smarter.
Train your brain.
First, it's the strongest weapon any warrior
Yep.
has, bro, is their mind.
Yep.
I would rather think myself out of any situation than have to go,
Sure.
this is easy. This should be the last resort.
Hmm.
Like Bruce Lee said, move like water, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't always gotta make the big scene. I could come to a person like in just by the name that I had, the recognition I had, the optic illusion of myself, how I presented myself. But I would say, listen, you can never do that again. It was like the quieter I spoke, the
Hmm.
more humble I was, the more respect and fear came. I was like, the loud ones were just annoying to me. They
Right.
were annoying. I said, shut the, you just shut up.
Yep.
Now, of course, we had to display a certain degree of violence, and what made the biggest. So it's two instances that brought a kind of some notoriety to me. Was the first one was we had 3 phones in the pod. The
Hmm.
Bloods had a phone, which is the big bad wolf of the prison system in our state.
Yep.
Right? They're the deepest. No one's messing with them. Then you had the GDs and the Crips. They had a phone. And then you had Richmond, which is the city that I live in, but I wasn't banging Richmond. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a white dude. Very, very, very hard to get respect in my prison system if you're a white dude. Okay, there's not many. We're in the South. Okay, this
Sure.
is a predominantly black prison system. They don't
Hmm.
like us. You got if you carry yourself a certain way, you'll get respect.
Sure.
And as times are changing, that racist stuff is kind of going a little bit out the window. But people are more open-minded. We're
Hmm.
not really a race-based state when it comes to that. But I
Right.
mean, you know what it is. So
And that's how it is when you get there. It's not like you get to show up your first week and say, "Attention, everyone! I would like to try this new system where we all." That's so. I mean, it's not a choice. It's not a
right,
choice.
yeah, that shit is in place.
Yeah.
Way before you get there. Now, my situation is a lot of guys knew me. I grew up in their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They knew I was
Hmm.
kind of like a white kid that, I wasn't like feared or nothing like that. I'm just another white dude, but they know I'm a go. They're like,
Right.
you can't push Lance around. It's not gonna happen. Well, I got booted out of the phone line. I'd been in a hole. I got a gang assault charge in Haynesville. This was a lower level penitentiary,
Hmm.
level 2. So I started because my age. I was almost 35 years old, man.
Yeah.
I didn't start gangbanging until I was in my 30s. That's what's crazy.
That's rough.
Well, like I said, it's just like the military for me, though. This was my
Hmm.
military. We only had, at this point in time, in the beginning, I think we were like 25 strong. But each one of us we had shit going on. Like motherfuckers knew
Hmm.
time, right? We'll sling that sword. We get money. We're not lames. We're not plucked out drug addicts. We're none of that shit. You know what I mean? And we'll hurt you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you give me 20 solid ones, I'll take that over 500 any day. Give me 4 quarters over 100 pennies any day.
Sure.
So my guys were that. We worked out hard. I had a 535-pound bench press at Greensville. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing
Jeez.
750 squats. It was massive, 280 pounds. No way. You're not just running up on me, dog, smacking me around. That's not happening. You know what I mean? It's not happening, dog. I was a truck. So I walked down the stairs and I grabbed their phone, the blood phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my celly, I said, listen, man, just make sure no one steals my shit if I go to the hole. He was like, you sure you want to do this, man? I was like, yes, 100% I want to do this. Well, they send one of their little dudes at me. He's like, hey, yo, this homie phone. I said, look, bro, I hadn't talked to my son in 6 months. I've been locked down. I was going
Mm-hmm.
to talk to my son. My son will attest to this. He'll tell you he was on the phone when this happened. I looked over. I said, look, man, I'm going to make this phone call. And whatever you feel like you need to do, we can
Yep.
do. That's just the way it is. I take my 15-minute call. I hang up. I point them. Let's get it done. I walk upstairs to my cell. They send, this is where they messed up. They send these like prospect dudes at me. I mean, I felt some type of weight. Oh, like, hey, you ain't even send your real good hitters to me. You send these little kids. I mean, they're 130 pounds soaking wet, man. And I make them touch every wall in there. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Just rah, rah, rah. They had no smoke. Like there was nothing they could do. Well, this one kid pulls out a bone crusher, man. Like, I mean, a 7.5-inch good. This prison was one of the best prisons you could go to make knives. We were kicking out the bottom shells or metal and
I was
steel.
gonna say, explain to everyone what a bone crusher is. Everybody knows what a shank or whatever is. Explain the difference.
Okay, so you got your pokers, which is about something like this. They're gonna poke
Mm-hmm.
you. They're gonna get in a little bit. They're gonna hurt you, but you're not gonna kill
Yeah.
you. A shank can kill you if you hit a vital. And a bone crusher, the reason they call it that is because when you hit somebody in the ribs or it breaks the bones on the way in.
It's heavy.
It's going to break their chest plate. And it's going to go to their heart and kill them. That's why we call them a bone crusher. Now,
Gotcha.
this right here, if you can see it,
Mm-hmm.
is the scar from this bone crusher in my leg, right here. So let's see.
Damn.
That's where it went in.
Damn.
Came in there, and it came out the other side. I had gotten one dude in a chokehold. One dude was knocked out, but he woke up. And so I'm sitting here, I'm fighting two of them. They finally get me back on the bed. I like to sit here and say that I fought the good fight. And man, I whooped all three of them. No, that's not what happened. I'm not Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
So, like, they're lumped up.
Yeah.
They're lumped up, dude. But he pulled that bone crusher out. And when he hit me, I was using his boy as a shield. But he hit me in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
When he went in my leg, his eyes got big, my eyes got big, and I was like, oh shit, get out of my leg, bro. Right? Like,
Yeah.
These are not, honed real nice and like
Sure.
water sharp and all that. These things are jagged, bro. This thing has got jags in it where like he was beating a Cherokee drum with that son of a bitch. So when you ripped it out, it hurt worse than when it went in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I ended up like getting woozy, and so they had done a recount. They had just done count when I grabbed that phone. They call a recount, and I'm standing there, bro. They all thought they were going to hold. They were like, he's going to tell on us. My celly ties my leg up, takes a sheet, and we wet it in the sink, and he ties that motherfucker tight. Because I have to stand for count.
Yeah.
And I'm turning white, and he's like, just hang in there, bro, hang in there. I'm kind of like this. Much love to Tone Capone. Love you, brother. Thank you for saving my life, man.
I'm friends with Antonio on Facebook.
Yeah, it's my dude, man. So this dude, the count goes by, and dude, I go out, right?
Mm-hmm.
For 2 weeks, that dude literally saved my life. And he had people bring in the medical supplies and things like that and kept me going, man. Well, this dude, Bloodshed, and another dude, I forget his name, come to my cell. These are the bloodhead big homie guys, right? They're all slammed down now right on you. Brings me a bag of groceries, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't tell. I didn't go to the hall. I didn't do none of that shit. I laid there. The dude couldn't walk. Anyway, that was kind of the first thing, right? That did it. Like they were like, okay, this DMI dude's for real, but there was still no DMI guys, right? So all the white dudes are like, bro, I was there. I was ready to come up there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was gonna hang your business. I'm like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. Because you weren't gonna do that shit for yourself. You ain't been doing it,
Yeah.
right? You ain't been doing it, so stop that, right? I didn't want them dudes like hanging around me, man. I was like, you know, then I went and got moved to the other side of the yard, right? They moved me to the other side of the yard. And I told people, I said, the AB is dead here. I got clarification from my big homie. There was no Virginia AB, bro.
Yeah.
It's not real. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can help you either get real, get solidified through the feds if they accept you, but you're not gonna keep walking around it because people like me who've been earning this shit, I feel some type of way about that, bro. And if it's gonna be white, it's gonna come to me because I wanted to get paid too. You know what I mean? So, and then
Sure.
when you see that these chomos and stuff are gonna be paying, they were gonna be paying us.
Yeah.
Well, I said the next new Clover 666 Shield AB little thing I see, I'm gonna fucking take it. And here we go. I saw one come in, dog. And here it goes. Fresh. I mean, nice, fresh things. I said, I told you thought I was bluffing, huh? I said, you got 4 hours to get that removed or to cover it up. This is a fresh tattoo, big one, too. There's no
And he
way you
came
can get it
into
removed.
prison with fresh ink from outside?
No.
Oh,
No, I'm talking about a fresh tattoo, like they were putting people down
okay.
in the prison. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I got me and my boy, we held the summons down on the ironing board, did an ironing board in the pod where we iron clothes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I took that iron, bro, and took that tattoo off of his ass. And when I did it, I don't know why, but I took the iron. It's like I don't know. It was like some weird shit I did. But I did it in front of everybody.
Uh,
Yeah.
was that to try and prove a point? Because obviously you weren't
I wanted
hungry.
people to be
You didn't want to
terrified
know.
of us. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like it. It was disgusting. But it was the optic illusion, man. It's like
Sure.
that story turns into like I chewed it off, and you know what I mean? Like I knew
Sure.
by doing that, just the sickness of it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna say to a guy like that?
Yeah.
You know,
In
like,
6 months, they'd be saying you ate his whole face,
oh
and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all the things.
Gotcha.
His mom. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
so everything that you do in a situation like that is because of something else. It's chess, you know, and I learned that very fast. It is not, and here's the thing, like people don't really understand. It's very easy to take a bunch of people who are searching, who have nothing, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
Sure.
like I was like
Absolutely.
some great, like honorable guy, because I wasn't. We preach honor, we preach loyalty, brotherhood. Every gang does,
Mm-hmm.
but very few of them show it, man, and myself included. You know, I wish I could say that we were the difference. We weren't. We ended up all becoming drug addicts, greedy, backstabbed each other. Half of the reason, so I actually had to fight a state RICO case, a seal
That was
indictment.
going to be my next question, Rico.
Yeah, I got hit with a RICO, and I had to fight the indictment, man. That, like before it even like they had a seal indictment on me. They charged me with it, and literally I was about to lose my life, man, over this shit. And half of the witness statements were my own people, my own guys. Guys that I bled with, guys that I stood back to back with and fought wars in that prison, man. You
Yeah.
know, and it went to show me that the only real gang that I give a shit about anymore is the one in this house. That's it. That's all. I have maybe 5 friends in the world that I call friends.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them I've never even met in person. You're one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't you never even met in person.
Right.
You know? But you just know when you know. And I knew then, but
Sure.
I think a lot of it too is like where you're at in your own life. You know,
Yeah.
what's attracting. The law of attraction is real, my guy. It's real.
Yep.
So, long story short, I get out of prison, 2018, meet a girl, start a life, but it was all bullshit. I'm doing what I thought I was supposed to do. You know, there was like,
Right.
me and her were very opposite. We were never going to make it. We were doomed from the beginning. That poor girl had no idea what was coming. You know, I took complete advantage of that situation and ended up doing her real dirty, just keeping it real. Not cheating or nothing like that. It was just money and just, you know, I was a scumbag, bro. I got hooked on dope real bad, and you know, I took her through the ringer. and she told me to leave. Cool, whatever. So me and my son end up homeless. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
15. We're out in the street, living in my truck,
Yeah.
motels, all things, right? And you know, through it all, I'm doing the YouTube thing, and I'm showing this, I'm documenting, I'm vlogging it.
Right.
Right? I show when I walked away from the organization. There was a green light on me, you know, but Maryland, where it's like, stepped in, was like, listen, ain't no green light on Lane. He did too much for y'all. You can't green light that dude. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, he didn't do anything to get green lit. That's not a green light situation, man. The dude's just, he wants to leave. It's okay. He's 45 years old. Nothing's worse than like a 50-year-old man trying to gangbang. Now, you look retarded. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you look like a
Yeah.
dumbass. So, like, I don't want to look like a dumbass. You know,
No.
but well, I did look like a dumbass. But you know, I got hooked out on this stuff, and you know, got to a real low place with my child, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
that was scary. And, you know, eventually he got taken from me, and he's been in institutions ever since. He will be getting out soon, a couple months probably. But they're not just going to give him back to me without me doing the work. So on top of it, right when he gets taken from me, I get diagnosed with cancer. Stage 2, muscle invasive carcinoma, bladder cancer.
And this is going on right now, in case anyone watching
Yeah,
doesn't understand that. He has cancer right this second.
yeah. So it took, and this all happened. This is 6 months ago, right? And so my son gets taken. I find out that I got cancer. I get kicked out of my residence, right? Wow, right? This is definitely no money, no job, right? Addicted to ice, methamphetamine, hard,
Yeah.
everyday use. And instead of letting that whoop me, which I mean, there was a point in time that like it really could have gone the other way.
Sure, man. Yeah.
And I remember the day I made the decision that it wasn't gonna whoop me. I was sitting outside and I was looking at the trees and listening to the birds. And I said, you know what? Not today. Not today,
Mm-hmm.
devil. No, man. And I felt like the universe had to literally bring me to like a screeching halt because I wasn't just affecting my own life, I was
Mm-hmm.
affecting my kid's life too, real bad. Like I was fucking his life up because
Yeah.
I couldn't stop what I was doing. I was 175 pounds. When I went to the doctor, I was 175 pounds. They took out a 4x4 centimeter tumor out of my bladder. Unfortunately, I was pissing blood for a year, man. Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like bad blood. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to go. I didn't want to know. You know, so I get it taken out. I'm in a catheter. Um, I get the catheter out, and I start all these clots started coming out. Literally
Mm-hmm.
within 72 hours, there was almost 2 gallons of clots that came out of me.
Ugh.
I've got video of this shit, dude. I still have it.
Mm.
You should see it. It's crazy, bro. But it scared the hell out of me, bro. Like I was like,
Sure.
this is what they were like. Oh, it comes from smoking. Listen, I've only been out of prison 6 years. I didn't smoke enough cigarettes to do
Right.
this. It came from ice, bro. It
Yeah,
came
I
from
believe
that.
that.
So you get so dehydrated that it just sits there. It doesn't go anywhere. All the poisons and
Yep.
stuff. And it literally gave me cancer.
Yep.
But it also got all this got me clean. So within 3 months, the people that know me will tell you, like, gosh, you don't even look like the same person. Like I literally weight back, boom, face back, everything looks different now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy to me. So I love to see and say, oh, I've been clean. But no, I slipped. So I went to go to my chemo.
Mm-hmm.
And look, your kidneys are failing, dude. Like, what's going on with you? So I was
Yep.
honest. I said, right, I fucked up. I did this. And they were like, makes sense, right? So what do you want to do? Do you want to live or do you want to die?
Yeah.
So we
Yep.
can do either one. I decided to live, man. So I put it down again. I'm coming up on legit 30 days of just straight. You know what I mean? And like, I'm so freaking proud of myself for that 30 days.
Hell yeah, brother.
You
Yeah.
know, like I'm gonna actually go to one of those meetings. And I want to get a chip. You know,
Yeah, do it.
And I think that this new way of life, people see it, man. They're not
Mm-hmm.
stupid. Most people are not stupid. You can tell them
Yep.
a bunch of bullshit, dog. Hey, man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing all things I'm working out. You're not doing none of that. You know what I mean? But when you are,
Yeah.
they see it. And a
Yep.
true friend will be happy for you. Somebody that's not wants you to be down with them. I always tell people the dope man don't give a shit about you. I've been the
Yeah.
dope man. I didn't give a shit about them people.
Yep.
And even as the addict, I didn't give a shit. It was all about the drug. It was all about the things.
Yeah.
Numbing myself, bro. Because I don't. My past is so bad that I don't want to think about it. I don't want to dream about it. I don't want to think about the people I've lost, people I've seen stabbed
Mm-hmm.
to death in front of me, man. You know, I don't want to see that stuff. But you know what? That's life, homie. You have to.
Yeah.
You put yourself there in that situation. Guess what? You gotta live with it, dog. And I look at the guys that you've interviewed, man, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I feel honored to be on this channel with you because if
Wow.
I'm in that category, shit, man, I'm doing all right, bro. You know, and I mean, these are some real mother efforts, dude. And I'll tell
Yeah.
you, people that have been through some stuff inspire me, man. Like to keep pushing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that whole scenario where you put just like I know I see people when I go in a chemo place where they just when they heard out that cancer word, it killed them. That fucking killed them. They're dead now
Mm-hmm.
in their mind. Oh, I have
Yep.
cancer. I'm dead. And it's like I can't even get them to smile. You
Yeah.
know, I look at him like, well, you know what? I got into it with a dude at chemo the other day because he was like, I don't know why you're so goddamn happy. Cancer. Oh my gosh, man. I should name you cancer. I said, oh, you ever talk about it? I was like, no wonder you got it. I said, you just manifested right up in yourself, didn't you? I said, let me ask you this. I said, why shouldn't you be happy? You're 85 years old, bro. It
Yeah.
took 85 years for you to get it. I'm 45.
Yeah.
You really should be feeling sad, homie. You know what I mean? I said, but you know what? You keep on dying, homie. I'm gonna keep on living. You know, do you? You know
Yeah.
how to do me. So
I mean, at 85, that's what's supposed to happen. I know that sounds kind of cruel,
you're
but
old, bro. Old people die.
I mean that. Yeah. I feel
I'm like,
bad saying that now. It sounds terrible.
I mean, it is what it is, though. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Real talk. Yeah.
it's real talk. If I'm 85 years old, hey, bring it,
Yeah.
bring it, dude. I mean, but 45, that was kind of a shock when they told me I had 2 years to live. That's what they told me. Yeah, 2 years. That's your expectancy right now. I said, yeah. I said, that's what you think, bro. I said, you must not know me too well, dog. I said, no, like the jokes is they were like they say Chuck Norris says, when Chuck Norris jumps
Yep.
in the pool, he doesn't get wet, the pool gets Chuck Norris.
Yep.
That's what I told doctor. I said, I didn't get cancer. Cancer got lands. You know what I mean?
I
Look at
think
you.
I think both of us probably should have been gone several times by now
Yeah,
already.
yeah, bro. But just because that's what they say doesn't make it. They say that and then
Yeah.
people take it wrong with it and they die. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't even feel close to that. As long as I don't do the one thing that I believe did it to me, I
Mm-hmm.
okay, man. I don't think that's gonna come back. As of right now, the chemo, I'm on the third round, right? And people always like, oh, you're cap, you're lying because you're not laying in a bed. Yes, I'm exhausted, bro. Don't get it messed up. I am going through chemotherapy and I'm on cisplatin, which is the most aggressive chemo
Mm-hmm.
drug. But you know what? I get up every day. I smile, motherfucker. I fucking am nice to people. I work out still. I go pick up those weights. I got a punching bag out back. If I get mad, I can go hit that. You
Yeah.
know, and there's days, man, I am angry. Yeah, man, I'm super angry. I'm super bitch made feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
But dude, it could be worse. At least I'm surrounded by people that I know love me. And if I gotta go, I gotta go. You know,
Yeah. You can only control what you can control. There's no point worrying about everything else. I mean, you have to accept that the world's not going to revolve around me or you. We
right.
got to work with it.
And one thing that I'm going to show Bryce, my son, is
Mm-hmm.
that you can beat addiction. And that I want him to think in his mind, if that old son of a bitch can do it, I can.
Yeah.
And I talked to him 2 days ago, and that's exactly what he said. He
Really.
said, Dad, I'm coming. He's 6 months now because he was going through some addiction
Sure.
problems. He said, I'm 6 months clean. I'm so proud of myself. I said, you're beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Look at you. I said, look
Shout
at
out
you. All
Bryce.
big, and he's big as shit, dude. He's like, cut all his hair off, wearing his little glasses. Oh, man. That little dumbass mustache. I said, man, you look great, man. Right? He said, I never want to feel like I did before again. He's like, Dad, and I see you. He knows you can't lie to Bryce with me. Like I can't lie to him. I've never been
Right.
able to. He told me, he said, I see you, Dad. He's like, that's the first time I've seen you since you've been home. Seen you. This is the dad I remember. in
Yeah.
prison, coming to see this guy. And I said, well, I'm gonna be this way until you come home for sure, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about starting a business now. Like, I'm so proud of him. And gosh, man, like he's the reason I'm alive, bro. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
him, and I gotta be. And no relationship is perfect, neither is mine, but that's one of the reasons that keeps me going too. Like, she's there, she takes me wherever I gotta go because I can't drive anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, you gotta. Yeah, a buddy of mine named Farron Parker, dog breeder, but that powerlifter dude. I showed a video of my short bench pressing 700 pounds. Come on, let's make guns.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he's a massive human being. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, this dude, pure badass, man. What's up, Farron? Love you, brother. Um, yeah, it's my dog, man. And he told me, he said, well, let me ask you this, Lance. When have you ever had it this good? And I had to sit there and say to myself, never, bro.
Yeah.
So if you look at it in those terms, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Nobody's life is perfect.
Could
Uh,
always be worse.
It could always be worse, man. And if we
So
can give
much.
ourselves to the world like I've been able to do, I've been fortunate to be able to give myself to the world. I
Mm-hmm.
just hit, I think, 8 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
8 million views I just hit. And that means 8 million times somebody watched. And whether they hated me or loved me, they took
Mm-hmm.
something from that video, man. And there's a lot of
Sure.
people that hit me up and they're like, listen, I wanted to tell you that you saved my life, you saved my son's life, or this, that. And that's what I'm taking to the grave with me. I never made a lot of money on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Not really. Some guys do. But I know for a fact, bro, that my story has helped at least one person. And maybe that's what it's for. It wasn't, I wasn't meant to be rich. I wasn't, because I think maybe it would have changed my direction. I had to
Sure.
keep going through this shit in order to inspire whoever needed to be inspired. And but I really hope I get something out of it soon because I need it, man.
Well, as much as we'd all like to get the bag from YouTube, I have no doubt that you have. Uh, you may have started out on YouTube trying to make some money, but I don't believe that you have stuck with it as long as you have, just because you're hoping to retire from it.
Yeah.
With all the things that have been said to you, all the times you've had to defend yourself over something stupid. If you weren't doing it because you wanted to and cared, you would have gave up. You would have stopped already.
Yeah.
Because there's no doubt in my mind you get more shit than you deserve for what you put out.
It's
So
weird, man. It's very
I
strange.
have no doubt that you care, and you have your channel to help people. It's obvious to me.
And also I met some very, very, like you said, like how we met. Like this, something I had to learn, that you can be buddies and friends with people that you've never like seen in real life.
Sure.
But this is what's done it for me. Like, I've met some really good people, and
Mm-hmm.
I love meeting good people because
Yeah.
there's not many of them out there. Just be
Yep.
honest, there's not a lot of good people out there. And I feel fortunate, bro, to have met and like rubbed elbows with some of these guys, man. Like some of the dudes that are way like they wouldn't even answer my
Mm-hmm.
calls now. You look at like 1090 Jake. I remember he was on my channel years ago. And
Right.
I used to talk to 1090 on the phone all the time. Now he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's doing great for himself. Even looking like Pino and like these dudes that started when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I'm proud of them because they could have gone left, bro. They could have come home and done something real stupid.
Sure.
Like and it could be still in that future for me, maybe, but I wasn't ready. If they'd have gave me $1 million a year ago, I'd be dead. And that would have sent my son down a path that he never would have came back from.
Yep.
That I know. So I'm not gonna get that until I'm ready for that. And maybe
Yep.
I never will be, But hey, we're leaving a mark. We're leaving
Yep.
a trail, ain't we? So
Yeah.
and you're just getting, and like I've watched, I like what you're doing because you're showing a side of fighters that a lot of people don't get to see. The human side.
That's what
And
I'm
that's
trying to do.
why,
Yeah, relatable.
yeah, bro. And like people forget they're humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched your interviews. I like the way you bring that out of them. You have a way of doing that. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be good. This is gonna happen for you. I see it. I feel it. I told that to 1090 years ago. I said you're gonna pop, dude. You know what I mean? And I hope you do. And I hope
It
that for
makes it
you.
easy when I actually I'm not just interview. I've never interviewed someone I didn't know, or well, that I didn't establish a relationship with first. It didn't matter. Chuck, I talked to Chuck for 6 months just about his life before I ever said, "Hey, I mean, before I ever even thought I would have a channel or
Yeah.
interview anyone ever." So, I mean,
I was like, it's time for
if I interview you, I care about you as a person. I really do.
that's all right, man. Like you hooked me with Tim, like, and even though we didn't like get to work it out, I guess he's busy, I'm busy, but
Right?
that dude, I listened to him for years. I've listened to the
Yeah.
guy for years. And I told my buddy that guy Farron, I told you about, he's like, "You talk to who? You talk to Tim Shriver?" I was like, "Yeah, my homeboy Mike hooked me up with him, man." I said, I'm gonna email him and see if he'll say hi to you or something. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here." But like to me, it's like, man, it's cool, bro.
Yeah.
People see if you're a genuine individual, people don't mind, bro. It's
Hmm.
like not every person is like wrapped up in this world of social media and
Right.
fame, and I hate it. I don't like it. Like I get uncomfortable. Like when I start
Hmm.
watching my numbers go up, I'm like, gosh, that's a lot of people. Like I'm getting ready to get that 100,000 plaque probably soon, and like
Hmm.
it's very scary to me. Like, oh man, like, but I don't want to put like a lot into it because I'm like, what if I don't
Sure.
get it? That failed. But it takes time. A lot of people think they're gonna make that one video. Like Jay Williams made that video, and it went viral. He got lucky,
Hmm. Yep.
but he wasn't ready for it, dog. And he's in jail.
Hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
People get to a point where they forget they're human and they're untouchable, but you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Diddy. I mean,
Yeah.
let's think about it.
I don't want to look at Diddy.
No, I want to punch him in the face so bad.
I don't
Like,
want to be close enough to punch him in the face. I don't
I
want to
have
be
to.
near him.
That
No,
dude,
keep
man.
him.
Like and then West Coast, everyone's all like, "I'm here with the man." Like, what? Like, dude, you're just committing like social media suicide left and right, dog. God.
Nobody ever made a video about how smart that man was.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a few personal questions. I don't know why I came up with these questions or where they came from, so we'll see how this goes. I want you to pick one or the other and tell me why.
All right.
Pulled pork or brisket?
I'm gonna go with pulled pork, man, just because I like the name.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
I think
Gotcha.
there's always gonna be something fun that comes along with that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
fun.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to change that question now. I'm gonna start laughing in the middle of it forever. All right, Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Tupac because
What song did it for you?
Troublesome.
Troublesome.
Yeah,
All right.
Tupacalypse Now, man. Yep, first Tupac album, man. When I heard Troublesome, I was like, "Yep, I'm going to jail tonight." Tupac got me locked up more than what I like to admit.
You got a bondsman on the phone before you get to the third track. That's hilarious. All right, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna go with Muhammad because, I mean, he's Muhammad Ali, but I'm rooting for Tyson right now, man. I am rooting for Tyson.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. Movies or video games?
Movies. I don't play video games at all.
Me either. I haven't touched one since Super Nintendo.
Yep. Last best. I think I had a Sega, maybe.
There you go.
Last time I picked one up, and I don't like video games. They made me want to fight. I don't think so, man.
I stopped. I lost interest when they put more buttons on the controller than I had fingers to press them with and hold on at the same time.
I'll play Madden with Bryce sometimes.
Sure.
But that's just to do some with him. And I always get Derrick Henry, and I just run him to death, dude. I just beat the shit out of him.
So you're still using the old Tecmo Bowl technique where you pick the Raiders, hand Bo Jackson the ball, and just run every play. That's what you're doing.
Yep. Every time, just run it down, throw it down.
Mortal Kombat, jump kick, done. That's awesome. All right, the next one. Um, Wes Watson or Mike G?
Mike G.
Yeah.
Damn right, because Mike G's got better content and he tells the truth.
I've never once lied in a video. I don't have a reason to.
No, and that's all Wes does is lie, lie, lie.
I don't know anything about the man personally. I don't know if he's ever lied or ever told the truth. I just know that he used to be worth, in my opinion, I used to not mind watching him when he was just sitting on the picnic table, still had the hair around the back, talked like a normal person. He was decent to watch. I can't handle him just screaming at me all day anymore.
I'm not gonna listen to that, and I'm not gonna sit there and I used to watch Wes Watson. If you watched him like my first couple videos, I thought I was Wes. That was the first prison YouTuber I watched. So my first reason, like, I was like Westy. You know what I mean? But like, I started to catch myself. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I started listening to him, and I was like, hold on a second. This isn't. He's not telling the truth. There's no. Nobody's taking their paperwork and hooping it. Like no one's doing that, bro. You know what I mean? It's not like a regular thing. And I just felt like he was. I didn't like the way that when I started to see him interact with the people in the world.
The way he treats people.
What he was doing to using people's self-doubt. I don't like these alpha male content creators. Not gonna lie, man. I don't like them. I feel like they're taking advantage of something that society's created.
Yeah.
You created these men who don't think very much of themselves. You're gonna capitalize on it. That's not alpha to me. That's that's beta to me.
That's exploitation. That's exploitation.
Yes, it's terrible, bro. It's a shitty way to make a living, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Throughout the entire history of combat sports, doesn't matter what style of martial arts, who is your favorite fighter of all time?
Ooh. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a tough question. There's so many greats.
How about top three? Does that make it any easier?
No.
No.
I'm gonna go with, and this is gonna be kind of gay, but I'm gonna go with some WWF for a second. Okay?
Yeah, go for it. Whatever.
Go with my man, Ultimate Warrior. I love that guy.
Nice.
Sting. I grew up watching wrestling. I love wrestling. But in actual, I love Sting. I love Ultimate Warrior. But in actual combat sports, gosh, man, I'm gonna go with my man Iceman. I gotta go with Chuck.
Yep.
Always a good dude to watch, man. And I just felt like I could sit in the garage and drink some beer with Chuck Liddell, and it'd be fun.
He's the coolest guy ever.
Yes, I like Tank Abbott. I like the old school, man. Bruce Lee. Yep, that's just because Bruce Lee. I mean, it's Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he's Bruce Lee.
My favorites. Yeah, man. Just because of high octane, Boxing, I love Muhammad. I like Muhammad Ali because of his spirit.
Sure.
I like how no one could push him around. But he stayed humble, and he was very funny and lovable. And a lot of guys lose that human aspect of him, and I can respect that.
He transcended the sport in a way that no other fighter has ever come close.
Yeah, that dude was just, geez, man, all the things he did for the sport of boxing, for humanity.
For humanity,
to make that much of an impact on the world. Hey, man, awesome, dude, awesome. But I will say this. I'm forgetting one guy. Tommy fucking Morrison, dude. I loved watching Tommy Morrison. And it sucks that he, went out like he did, but I think he'd have gave Tyson a run, dude. I really do believe that. I think Tyson would have
very similar.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah. Tommy was from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is about an hour 45 from me. I've actually driven by his childhood home.
That's crazy, man. Ricky Hatton used to love watching.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton.
Oh, Ricky Hatton. Man, it's still make up, dude. I like old Irish boxers, man. I'm Irish, so
sure.
Andy Lee. I love all the dudes, man. Man, I'm trying to think of him, and he's a famous. I don't know why I can't think of him right now. The California kid, what's his name?
Uriah.
Uriah Faber. Yeah,
Yep.
man, I love watching him growing up when he's beating up on Sean Sherk and like Mike, what's his name? Mike Brown.
Mike
Man,
Brown. Yeah, you're talking about old WEC days.
yeah, man, I loved watching Uriah Faber, dude.
Yeah.
He was badass when he came out.
Yeah, I've been trying to get with him for a minute. I actually, a couple weeks ago, was on the phone with whoever the girl is that answers the phone at his gym out in Sacramento, asking her to remind him that I did send the email he asked for. So we'll see.
That's awesome. Uriah was
Yeah.
cool, man. Like, I mean, he kind of fell off, but like, I mean, it's weird because these guys bring these. People don't think about it, and like, I wish Joe Rogan would touch on it more because these guys that come into the sport and have an impact are the reason that the next generation of fighters is that much better.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved watching from. I remember the early UFC days. I remember watching that as a kid, and like watching Always Gracie just demolish these people, man. And, and like even like the Shamrocks, bro, like the Lions Den was him, Rampage. I mean, like them dudes.
Yep.
God, man, they would just fight. You know what I mean? And I love watching that old stuff. I still watch it to this day. I got the old videos and DVDs. I got oh man, I actually have something I'm gonna send to you. I meant to grab it to show you in the video. Now I'm gonna take a picture. It might be in my storage unit. But I've got one of the old original box sets of the UFC. You might already have it. I don't know, but I had it. And I was like, man, Mike would love this damn thing. And I think it's in my storage unit. Damn. I'm gonna send it to you though, man. You're gonna love it. Really.
What is it?
Damn right.
What is it you're talking about?
It's one of the old like box set DVD sets of the UFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool, man, and it's still sealed and everything. I've never even opened it.
Hell yeah. I might is it like the whole year's worth of fights?
Yeah, it's a gray one. I forget what year it was, but I don't know. I don't know where it is. I've had this thing for so long, and I bought it years and years and years ago. For some reason, like certain things, no matter what I was going through in life, certain things I just kept. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
There's these little things I kept for whatever reason, and like this. I've had this forever. Why do I have this random Sons of Anarchy DVD? Because I'm not gonna lose this. I don't know, bro. This proper 12. I've had this bottle probably 3 years, 4 years. I don't know. Why do I still have that bottle? It's because when I look at this, I remember, man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I've lost so much in life, and I just start over so many times that, you know, I try to hold on to things now, you know, and it might be something stupid to most people.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not, you know.
I totally feel you on that, dude. I used to get a tattoo every year. And that was like because from a large portion of my life, there was no photo album. There was no, here's somebody that remembers what I did last week and I can talk to you about. There was nothing. So that was like a yearly reminder of what was going on then. So
that's dope though.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying.
Dumbass tattoos that absolutely mean nothing. I have a bunch. You know, I'm probably 85% covered now. And I literally have a bunch of dumb shit, but I also have tattoos that, you know, I would never get covered up. You know what I mean? Because they mean that much to me. So I get that for sure, man.
Do you ever wish you had none?
No.
No?
No, I always wanted to be blasted.
Gotcha.
I wish I didn't go like on my face and my hands. Like I wish I kept it. I used to have it just here.
Sure.
And that little port, that's just weird, right? A little port they have. So that's what they put all my treatments in.
Yeah.
It goes right to my heart. It's weird.
Yeah, you're faking, man. You're faking.
Yeah,
you're faking.
Shit.
That's just a pimple, dude.
Yeah, it's just a boil. People just retarded, dude. Like, I mean, I've literally been in the doctors with the video camera rolling. They're like, "Oh, you're giving blood?" Like, yeah.
You know, people haven't been saying cap about that as much since you did that. By the way, I have noticed they're still pissed off about everything else that they can come up with, but they're not on that thing anymore.
What's crazy is that they're not even right. Like I've admitted to the things that I've done. Like I've gone on national. I've gone there and said, "Look, I did this. It was not always under the greatest pretense. Some of the money went to dope, yes,
sure,
but alive and went to putting a roof over our heads. So why am I going to lie about that? Like,
Yeah.
But 90% of their favorite content creators are literally lying every time they get up on the, like, come on, bro. I know guys personally that get up and are nodded off, bro. And the people, instead of saying, they're saying, oh, he must be tired.
Right. Right. It's not hard to tell when you've lived that kind of life. It's not hard to tell when someone's
immediately. I tell
yeah.
immediately.
I mean, I have thought myself that people I have talked to on YouTube, not on YouTube in the moment, but like on the phone or maybe messaging, I've thought, oh yeah, they're on one today.
Yeah. I mean, shit, you talked to me before and I could tell you were like, like, yes, dude.
But there's no reason for me to say nothing about it.
But
yeah.
I could also tell when you realized, like, I wasn't full of shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's a process, man. We're like coming off of something like a 3.5 year everyday habit of doing something that's the most powerful thing in the world that we know to this date. To walk away like I have, cold turkey like that, and just, hey, man, I'm proud of myself, dude. And that took a long time for me to say, bro, without being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, because I never had any reason to be proud of myself for real, because I was always low key a piece of shit. Today I'm not. And, you know, I have my own religious views. I don't really necessarily believe in religion. I believe in some off the wall shit, but I use that. I believe in the universe, and I believe that, you know, we were, you know, I believe in like aliens and shit, dude. Like, I believe which way we're from. Yeah, I'm all the way down that rabbit hole right now. Billy Carson, Anunnaki, all the things. Let's go. I'm in. Right? I'm fucking in, dude. Right? Because it makes the most sense to me. Now, you know, at the end of the day, if it's right, it's right. But it makes me feel like I can manifest my own reality. I can literally create my own future, or I can create my own non-future. You know, and call it what you want. I believe it, and it helps. It works.
That's all that matters. Who cares what you call it?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I mean, be nice to people, be a good person, be solid, be thorough. Don't tell on your buddies, and that's just go. You know, I think you're fine, dude. You know.
If you had to pinpoint one moment, if you could go back in life and change one moment that would have altered the trajectory of the rest of your life, what was that moment? Maybe when you were young.
I wish I could go back, and whatever point in time I became so angry, I wish I could have just gone the other way and used it to motivate me instead of to devastate me. You know, because I carried it around like for years and years and years, and it was a very heavy baggage to carry around.
Sure.
And up until very recently, when I let it all go and gave it all to whoever's up there, it ruined my life, man. Anger will ruin your life. It's the worst addiction in the world.
Yeah.
People
do get addicted to hating.
Yeah, it's. I was addicted to rage. I was addicted to violence. Yeah. I'm addicted to numbing myself afterwards. Because deep down, I'm a nice person, right? It's just I thought I had to be this badass because it was self-preservation. I didn't care about necessarily anything but protecting myself. I didn't want to hurt anymore. I had been hurt by everybody I loved and cared about.
Yeah.
So I decided not to love and care about anybody. And that's not a good way to live. You know, it's a very bad way to live. And I think that you get your blessings when you begin to get your blessings, you know, and understand that you don't have to be the biggest, baddest person in the world. Even if you are, you don't have to tell everyone, you know, you can just be normal, be happy for people, and be happy to be you.
Yeah.
You know, and be looking in the mirror and be happy with the motherfucker looking back. You know, but only you can change that. No one else can change that for you. Only you can.
It takes a conscious effort every day.
Motherfucker, right, man? Because this life just gonna come at you.
Yeah.
As soon as I start doing good, man, the devil throws everything at me. He's like, oh, man, let's go throw this. I know how to get you back. I know how to get you back.
Yeah.
You know how many times in the last 30 days I've had, every day my phone goes off. Hey, I got this. I mean, outrageous prices. $20. Best shit ever had. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep my 20.
There you go. um, this isn't something I wrote down to ask you about, and I don't know why it just popped into my head.
All right.
Um, there's a guy I saw maybe a year ago who does, I guess you could call him satire videos of prison genre content creators. His name is OG Sid.
Yeah, Big Sid. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Big old
Do
Caucasian.
you,
Yeah, dude.
without knowing if you and he know each other, does the stuff he does piss you off, or do you take it as a joke?
I take it as a joke.
Okay.
Now he has gone across that line a couple times.
That's why I asked.
And we've actually talked outside of YouTube, and I've said to him, "Hey, that was a little much, man. Take that down, please." But it took me a long time to get to that point.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of channels that have trolled me, right? Like that will make videos like saying I'm this, doing this. I don't care what you say about me. You talk about
Gotcha.
my son, I might have a problem with
Right.
and yeah, that's it. I mean, I put myself out there to be made fun of. You know,
Gotcha.
when you're very transparent like I am, you know, look at
The
me.
most transparent.
Yeah, I'm very transparent, man, and they don't like that, you know, because just they take it and say, "Oh, maybe I can get some clicks off of making fun of this guy."
Sure.
That's fine, right? Okay, but they would never in a million years come to my face and call me that. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
And I know that.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't let it get to me as much anymore unless they cross that line. There was a video made about my son was gonna become homosexual in prison, all those things. Like I told this individual, like, I'm on my way to your house, dude. So until that video's down, I'm gonna keep on trucking, right?
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
In the fucking like, let
Right.
you know what time it is. That's my child. That's
Gotcha.
my son. I will
Yeah.
take you out for here. You'll be, you know, your family will cry over your grave.
Right.
But even him, he's been like, Dad, I put myself on there. I got to get used to it because I want to be in this genre or do this thing too. So it's okay. Don't get so mad. That I don't care nothing about what he's saying. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do what I do. You know, like
Gotcha.
you know, there's a line that you should cross as a man, and you shouldn't do it. And you know, hopefully people understand it. You know, the one guy, Fact Strangers in Fiction, New York.
Mm-hmm.
He made a ton of videos about me, right?
Yep.
But he never talked about Bryce once in an ill will way. So I actually told him, "Thank you for that. I think your shit's actually funny." I laugh at myself, bro. Like, there's some funny ones out there that, oh God, you know, that's just hilarious to me. And now me and that guy are buddies. You know, we talk. We're outside of YouTube. You know, we've gone there. We've done interviews. We've done things like together. So he's a good dude. At the end of the day, he just was new to YouTube and doesn't understand that just because you see somebody make a video about somebody doesn't mean it's always true.
Right.
You know, and there's always going to be alliances through YouTube. I fall back from that. I don't do that no more. If my buddy is in an argument with somebody, doesn't mean I'm jawing back in that argument.
Yeah, that's between you.
Now, if this dude's on his way to your house, to my buddy's house, and he's threatening him or something, yeah, I'm gonna slide in there and help my buddy out. I'm not gonna get on here and make a bunch of dumbass videos. That doesn't get any. That's not what we should be promoting.
Right.
There's a lot of youngsters that watch these videos, man, that are very distracted by our bullshit. You know, they got enough distractions out there. We're trying to help them create better men, women, and adults. That should be what the content's about.
Yeah.
There's always going to be trolls, you know, especially in the prison genre. They're going to troll. They hate it. They don't think that cons should make money off a platform, but they will support a Mo. They'll support a Predator, you know, and follow him, you know. So who's really being demonized, man? You know, at the end of the day, I've never gone on here and done anything other than try to give somebody a good word of advice or a good word to help them throughout their day. Even off of YouTube, I get so many messages. I try to respond to them, but when you're getting 300 to 400 messages a day, you just can't do it. You got to pick and choose. You just pick. Sometimes I just scroll down and pick. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, there's so many. And I wish I did have 70 hours in a day because I would love to make that my life. You know, the gratification you get from helping people is amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when you spend your whole life hurting them. You know, so it's a good deal. It's a good deal.
Yeah, it's funny. Earlier you mentioned, you know, there's kids watching. both of my daughters, if you ask them what should happen to a grown up who hurts a kid, they will both look at you and excitedly go, stab, 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 stab.
So I'm actually making a remix of that song. I'm writing a verse. Don't D in minors, right? Don't D in minors, right? And when he goes, step, 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 right? I go, step, 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 yeah. Coming out that door, she was 10 years old. I thought she was mature. Like, like I'm
That's
ready to go off
awesome.
on these dudes, man. Like, I'm jumping on that train, man, because like I said, I'm a victim of it. And you know, if I see an individual on any of these platforms that I'm on, I'm gonna try to speak on it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that those guys should not have a voice at all. You know, they should. I mean, if I have a dog that constantly goes out and bites people, what's gonna happen? He's gonna get euthanized.
Yeah.
I believe the
And
same
you're
thing
going to
should
be
happen
held
to people, man.
responsible.
That's not a mistake. You didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, getting drunk and maybe driving is a mistake. You know, that's dangerous and detrimental. People get locked up for years for that. You do something to harm a child or a woman.
Yep.
You know, when they come in, they protect them from us. They
Mm-hmm.
put them in their own camps. They don't want to put them in with the animals.
Yep.
We'll hurt them dudes, man. Because all we see is our kids. We are fathers. We are husbands. We are grandfathers. We're uncles. You touch a kid, you will answer for it eventually. And ain't no amount of screaming and begging gonna help you. You know,
No, the only people that are there that help them are probably the ones popping the doors.
That's it. And they're letting them get out and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no that is something that's not gonna get fixed.
Yeah.
You don't fix that.
Yep.
You know, so they should be put on an island. You know, do you know what I saw on Temu?
Do what?
On Temu. I saw this on Temu.
What'd you see?
Selling, they sell dolls for men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about already.
They're
yeah.
selling baby dolls for men.
Yep. Yep.
What?
One school of thought is that it'll keep them from doing it to a real one, and the other school of thought is that it makes it worse.
I'm getting ready to do a video on that. I'm gonna get Temu shut down for that shit.
Well, here's my thought process. Anything that is sold like that is taxed, and those tax dollars go to a government. So essentially, it's a government saying we have no issue with this.
I think if you buy something like that, you should automatically go to that island I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
come on, homie. Like, there's no reason for that. And they got them all provocative looking. Like, I saw this.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah,
what
it's
are you trying to do here? You know, like, this ain't Sneaking Dad's Playboys or Penthouse, bro. This is a lifelike.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
I
nothing
don't.
good about this, bro. Next will be AI. They're gonna make little AI ones. Oh God, no. Because I think what happens there is that that'll get to a point where it's not good enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's humanity. We're always trying to do the next thing.
You're gonna breed more of them, dude. That's what I think. I think it's gonna make them like crazy that they can't have the real thing. Jesus Christ, man. This dude,
the more acceptable something becomes, yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's like a drug. It's like anything else. It's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy's not enough. You gotta go do heroin now. You know?
Yep.
So this dude, he discusses, bro, how he used to do it. In his video on YouTube right now. I just found it. It just popped up my feed. And he would say, I would look at the financial status of the kid. I would look at if their father was a threat. If their father was a threat, I'm not going to do it. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's a threat, dude. You know?
But it's something that's a definite. I don't know about other places, but where I live, it's in the last few years has become something that people talk about more simply because the Duggars live 4 miles from me.
Really?
You know,
4 miles?
yeah. I live in the same town as the Duggars, so yeah, we hear about that kind of crazy stuff all the time.
Let's
and
go to the Duggars house, Mike. I'll come down there. We're not on the fucking door. I swear to God.
Yeah, I can take you right to their house, man. They they weren't loved
JD.
around here.
Don't
yeah, even when they had their show on TV, people around here didn't like them. Like they're viewed as why would you set up a family that's going to require 21 monthly government checks? You know, like that's, yeah.
What the? I mean, come on, bro. Like some shit is just so outrageous to me that I see. I'm like, where, bro? And like, I don't even want to get into the whole like political thing, but I mean, I'm sure everyone can think about who I'd vote for. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you got to look at like society and what's becoming,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need to go back and look at history, man. You
Yep.
know, what you believe in the God or Bible or what, but Sodom and Gomorrah was a real place. And
Yep.
and if you think about it, there was a reason why I got wiped out. You don't see these types of things happening all over the world, only in one contained area. Why do you think that is? This is not a melting pot of the American dream anymore. This is a melting pot of pure, unadulterated sickness. And America is a dying country, man. I just feel like it is a dying country. You know, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work, man. You know,
There's definitely a lot of things to be scared of in the future. But one of the main reasons I do these interviews is I have two daughters. I have a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old. And the world they are going to grow up in, and I'm considerably older for being a parent. I'm 45 with a 6-year-old.
Yep.
So I mean, I'll be 60 when she graduates high school. So neither one of my kids are going to have me for a large portion of their adult lives. So I do these interviews to teach them to not give up when somebody tells you no, because I get told no, and I've had to be pushy with people that I would never want to be pushy with in real life to get to the next step. And I do this to teach them to follow your dreams. Don't give up. So yeah, it's a scary world, man. I got goosebumps thinking about my daughters growing up in this world.
Scary. Me and my girl talk about all the time. Our youngest is 9. And it's like, I look at her and I'm like, damn, baby. Like, and there's nothing in this world. And I mean, she's not technically my child, but you know, I don't care. She's here and I'm responsible to making sure she's okay. And at the end of the day, it's like, there's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do to protect her. You know, and it sucks, man, because I'm 45 as well. I know I'm getting old. And you get to that point as a man where you start to feel less than. You're like, do I still got it? If I need it, do I still have it? But when it comes to certain things and certain individuals in your life, you always got it. You know, you always got it. So, and there's nothing in this world that's going to guide. I mean, it would. They bet if something ever happened to any one of my kids, they better hope the cops find them. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, I am that guy, dog. You know, I think you are too.
I can be. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot.
I don't know. It takes a whole lot to a certain extent, man. It's like some people in this life, it's like they say, be careful how you treat people, because some of those people are God's people. You know what I mean? The reason why they're here. You hurt one of them, it's a lot bad just gonna happen to you, man. And I believe that too. You know, like whatever you want to call God, it's at the end of the day, there's something up there pulling the strings. And if you mess with their people, dog, it's a wrap. I've seen it many times. I know. There's good people out there.
Yeah, I'm the greatest person in the world until you give me a reason not to be, and then it's curtains. It's curtains. So there's no steps. It's from cool to done. That's it.
I told this dude the other day, I said, man, you don't look like you act. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, I look at you look like you fucking asshole. Like you just be mean. He said, but you're like nice. I said, let me tell you something, dude. It took a lot of violence to get this humble, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I know what real violence is, and I don't ever want to experience it, but I don't have to. You know, whether you're fighting, shooting at each other in the desert in Afghanistan or the jungle, or you're sword fighting in a prison cell, if you've seen real war and you've been through it, you've been in a situation with another man who's literally trying to kill you. That's when you're asking, protect me, and you mean it. You're not talking about walking to the store, bro. You're talking about Braveheart that in a prison cell. You know what I mean? Like, this is scary. That's when you realize that you don't want to be a part of that if you don't have to be. You know, I never want to be in that situation again. I'm not gonna do anything to put myself there. You know, people that do that are either sociopathic or they just have no hope. You know, like there's no hope left. And I felt that too. And for the first time in my life, I have that, bro. And I have hope and I have love. I've been shown how to love. I didn't know how to love.
Yeah,
But it
I
took these
understand that,
kids and
man.
that girl to show me how to love, man. And my friends, like I have real friends now. I
Hmm.
had gang member friends. I had junkie friends. I had dope dealer friends, street hustlers, whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
Those were my friends. There's no
Yeah,
loyalty amongst thieves, bro.
yeah.
But when you have real solid individuals that care about your well-being, are happy for you,
Hmm.
that means you got real friends and you should be happy for them too. You know,
Yep.
and congratulate them and show them respect like they show you. That's true friendship, brotherhood. You know, all this
Yeah.
other shit that we think that they promote in these rap videos and gangster movies, it's just bullshit, bro.
Yep.
It's not that glamorous, I promise you. I ran
No,
a gang for over 10 years and it was not glamorous. It was
no,
scary as
it's
fuck.
dirty.
It was scary. And even your own guys will be the ones to bury you
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
Every time.
Yep. The first ones.
Absolutely. And they'll do it with a smile on their face.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh, he did it. It's him.
It's like everyone forgets once they close the door and sit down that if nobody talks, it's a lot better than if you just run your mouth scared. Why? And people know that going. I know this is kind of off topic, but people know that going into the room. But as soon as they go in, it goes. They forget it all.
Yeah.
If everybody just
Yeah. Just lawyer. Lawyer. That's all you should
does,
say, lawyer. Now they want to sit there, eat cheeseburgers, have a Diet Coke, smoke. Like, bro, shut up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah. Half the time you don't even have to snitch on someone because they're busy snitching on themselves.
oh my, what they don't understand by you going, yeah, well, I was there. I saw him do this. Well, guess what? You just put yourself there too, dummy.
Yep.
And they're going to give you a 2-year sentence break. And then you're going to be walking around the yard with me.
Nope.
Now you told on.
I'd rather go fishing.
Yeah. I think I'll go fishing with you, Mike.
There we go.
I run from that shit now. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I mean, and I know you don't have a lot of free time. Other than like YouTube, do you have any sort of hobbies or anything?
Music.
Music,
Man.
okay.
That's music is my music, and I like to build things out of pallets. I don't know. It's like my
Okay.
box, I guess.
Okay.
Half of it's junk. It's crap. I'm not a carpenter, but I'm creative. So like,
Okay.
some days I get up and like I go collect pallets and I go construction sites.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to draw and I like to paint. You know, I like doing
Okay,
that.
those pallets. I don't know about where you live, but around here in the last 5 or 6 years, people having their own chicken coops has become real trendy. Have you see? Is that like that there?
Well, what I have done, I've gone to. I actually have a appointment with the city council, and what I'd like to do is a lot of homeless people where I live at,
Okay.
and I can build a building out of a pallet. I can make sheds
Sure.
out of pallets. Right? Very simple. It's a simple frame.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a piece of land, whatever I can try to. There's a lot of land around here
Mm-hmm.
that's not being used.
Sure.
And we could build these little pallet houses for these homeless people, man. Get them in one area, help them to understand living. Maybe
Okay.
they've never had a spot. Maybe they don't know how to live like on their own. So we start showing them how to do it. I know plenty of guys coming out of prison that can weld, that can build, they got skills.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying
Absolutely.
there's no jobs for you, let's give them a job building these things for the city. I'll help whatever I can do, you know what I mean? But this is an idea I really want to pitch. It wouldn't cost a lot. It's land you already have, so you don't have to buy
Right.
it. There's pallets laying all over the fucking place. You know, let us do this, man. Let's do something good and give back to these communities, man. And I think if we could start like back in the day, I used to say blue collar kings,
Mm-hmm.
right? Blue collar kings, steel toe
Yep.
soldiers. Well, I had an idea about like kind of like a Big Brother program, and the blue collar kings would be like us, like the guys that have these trades or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these youngsters that really have no father, they're locked up or they're dead, that are doing really nothing after school but messing off, you know, getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're steel toe soldiers. You get a little t-shirt, little steel toe soldiers. We teach these kids a trade for free,
Okay.
right? Like they can't go to vocational schools, they can't afford college, right? So how are we going to teach a gaming generation how to build things and how to do any of this blue collar shit? when there's nothing but, well, the only way I can think of is a bunch of big old tatted up convicts that
Yeah.
they look at like, oh, well, let's use that to our advantage, man, and start trying to teach these kids how to build a house or work on a car or cut grass or whatever it is that we can teach them how
Okay.
to do. You know, because we taught them how to gangbang. We did that, didn't we,
Yeah.
guys? A lot of us did. We taught a lot
And
of young
they
people.
live in the pallet houses while they're learning.
Huh?
They live in the pallet house while they're
No,
learning
I'm
the
just
trade.
saying, like, that was for the
Okay.
homeless people, but like, hell, we could build whatever. You know, we could live in them. I mean, anything we could do, because what I see right now is a generation of a bunch of I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's perpetuating an AI civilization. Don't they see that? They're not teaching men how to build houses or work on cars anymore.
Yeah. To
Because
be
they're
men
trying
in
to teach
general.
robots. Like, no, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The days of like men working with their hands is just coming to an end, bro.
Hey, dude. I still do. I'm not out there in the weather or anything doing it, but I am burning myself all day long, handling world champion winning barbecue all day.
Nice. That's dope. So if I can, so I went to school for cooking. I love cooking. It's my favorite job I ever had. I was
Texas
actually
Landing Cattle or Longhorn Steakhouse. You
Longhorn
told me.
Steakhouse. So
Okay.
I
Yep.
was a
See, I
corporate
remember it.
regional trainer for Longhorn Steakhouse. So I would go up and down
Okay.
it. Yeah, man. I'd open up restaurants and I was kitchen manager. Like I had a great time, but there's really no money in here.
Yeah.
But barbecue, that's the difference. Like I remember a place called Red Hot Blue Barbecue. It came to
Okay.
Virginia. And it was okay, right? But I kind of went down a rabbit hole and started watching some of the competitions and like watching how they use coffee and like all these things to make the
Yeah.
sauce. And, bro, like I do most of the cooking here at the house. That's kind of like how I stay, you know. So I'm getting ready to go make after this. I'm gonna make everybody these burgers I make I put them on tortilla shells and like I always am making like homemade sauce and all.
Sure. Yeah.
And very, very relaxing. And it's
Yeah.
great to watch people eat something you made and make them happy. You know, it's just so cool. I just wish
It's
I could make
always been my
that.
creative outlet. I wasn't like a painter or anything like that, but being able to assemble something that when it gets set down in front of someone, you can see their face light up, just like it's a
And that whole
Christmas
table's
present
quiet.
or something.
That's when you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when the restaurants went to like the computers, that's why I kind of fell back because I was an old school guy, like the tickets, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's how I zoned my grill, right? Medium rare to well on the like I could always tell like the medium
Yep.
you know, all the things, yeah. And I had my chicken over here on the left, my fish. I was zoned it that way. But when it started computers, I just couldn't get it, bro. I could not.
Yeah.
I wasn't as fast. I couldn't like flip it out as good, and man, it just I fell back from it because I wasn't enjoying myself anymore, man. And
Yeah.
when you work for those big chains like Darden and those huge corporations, they don't care. It's just pumping, but it's a factory of just. I wanted to take my time more, man, and like really present something nice to somebody who's spending $60 on a plate of food.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to just, you know,
Yep.
that's. I'm sure I can see that's probably how you are. Like I don't, yeah, man. I want to.
The first executive chef I ever worked for, who I still respect to this day, who was every bit as brutal as Gordon Ramsay ever thought about being. I mean, I didn't work a shift where there wasn't a circus monkey that couldn't do the job better. I never worked a shift where I didn't get sent outside to smoke, and before I could get all the way out the door, get screamed at for going to smoke. Like just brutality. But then at the end of the shift, hey baby, come here, buying you, you know, whatever. But yeah, what he taught everyone that worked underneath him was the way it looked was even more important than the way it tasted, because you see it before you taste it. And if it looks like a pile of shit, it doesn't matter how good it tastes. But if it looks beautiful, it can just taste good, and they're going to tell everybody about it.
If I
So
take
yeah,
a
it's
burger up like this, you'll realize even just the presentation of a burger, right? Or a steak. You put a steak, you cooking a char grill steak, you trying to put diamonds. A lot of people don't know how to put diamonds. You send me a steak that's got 16 different weird looking lines on it. I don't want that. Because it's not cooked right. You know, I know it's not cooked right. it could be great.
Yep.
You know, I like my shit still moving, bro. It's gotta be bloody. That's the only way I
Right.
like. I won't cook a well-done steak. I'm not doing it. Get a burger. Get a chopstick.
Yep.
Don't come in and order a well-done porterhouse for me at 10 o'clock at night, dog.
Yeah. I get 20-ounce porterhouse, well done with ketchup.
Yeah. Some fries.
Oh, gross. Uh,
Oh, man.
well, hey, man, I don't have any more questions written down.
Sounds good.
This is
man. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on more than I can tell you right now. It is really cool. This is since I've been interviewing people, I've had a couple of full circle moments. You are the first person I ever spoke to in a comment section on YouTube in this genre, and the first person to ever respond to me. So getting to interview you is amazing. The fact that we're still friends at this point is amazing. I'm always shocked when people online, people you'll never meet instead of, or most likely will never meet, especially in this day and age of keyboard warriors, and I can just block anybody and you don't have to deal with people if you don't want to. It's really, really cool that you've continued this friendship with me. I appreciate it. And the fact that our relationship started out with you half-ass hollering at my old lady in a live sitting in your car about McDonald's is absolutely beautiful. I wish I could sneak her in here right now. I'm not gonna lie, dude. She blushed like crazy. She's a big Lance fan, and I'm cool with that because I'm a big Lance fan too.
Hey, in all
Yeah,
fairness,
dude.
I didn't know, man.
I know you didn't know. I thought, but see, I had to top her story because that day she got to say I got Big Lance to respond to me. Well, I got to interview Big Lance. So what's up now, baby?
I love you guys, man, and the honor is truly mine, man. To have good people in your life, and honestly, man, like I said, I couldn't ask for a better friend, and you've always had a good positive word to say, and I do consider you a friend of mine, and then like I said,
appreciate that.
and like I said, I can't wait to watch this thing that you're doing right now take off because it's going to, because
I hope
the
so.
genuine aspect of it. You stay genuine, I promise you'll get there, man. And hey, when I stopped being genuine is when I fell off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that lesson. That's why I tell people now, man, like, be genuine. And real recognizes real every time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. So
yeah,
I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and be one of the first 10, because when this thing's all like exploded and like, I'm trying to hit Mike, what's up, bro? You're ghosting me, bro.
No, I'll just have like 10 different phones by then. I'll have the Lance phone, this person.
Teleportation. I'll teleport this.
Hey, man, by then that might be possible.
Hey, doesn't believe we're right around the corner, bro.
Yeah, and nothing surprises me anymore.
CERN is making some big, like, my content is actually getting ready to, like, I might lose my channel of this shit, but I'm telling you, I've lost my mind when it comes to like this alien shit, man. Like, I'm really far gone, dude. But hey, whatever, you know what I mean?
I'm going to one of the fighters I interviewed is a guy named Spencer Fisher. He was a lightweight fighter, fought a million guys, deals with a couple of head issues now. But one of the things he's into, since you said rabbit holes and aliens, this dude, whatever the word for how into it he is, that's right below something that could be rude, that's where he is. If you want, I mean, you probably don't have a lot of free time to talk about that kind of stuff with people, but I will give you his number as long as he's cool with it. There's no one that you can talk about that with who will be more excited and happy to do it than Spencer Fisher.
I'm all for it, bro. Like, I love, like, when I found Billy Carson, I was like, this is my Christ. Right? Like, I was like, he makes so much sense. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it's just like I never really could buy into all the, like, I read all the books. I was in prison almost 14 years, dog. I read all the religious books. I was almost a Muslim once. I found the Buddha. I did all the things, right? I mean, that's a long journey. But the more I look at the world, bro, it just makes more sense to me than anything else. And if you really read a lot of the books that were taken from out of the Bible, they all present this alien aspect, and there's a reason for it. The Catholic Church actually knocked down a lot of the pyramid tops and put churches over. Underneath a lot of these Catholic churches is pyramids, bro, and they're using that. They've learned a long time ago how to use it. The Ark of the Covenant was not anything other than alien source of power, bro. I promise you. And Antarctica is where they're at. We share this planet. Bro. Yeah,
I gotta hook you up with Spencer, dude. I gotta hook you up with Spencer. Dude, you guys are gonna be best friends so fast. You're gonna put a video out for 2 weeks. I'm not even joking. I can message him what's in the sky and get 30 article links sent to me in a minute.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Get ready.
All right, man. Lance, I appreciate you again. Have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna jump off here. You know how long it takes to load and all that. I'll give you a shout once it's up, man.
All right, man. Love you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Honors
Love
mine.
you too.
Y'all have a good rest of your evening, man.
You too. Much love.
Later.